Watching live Impact News right here on the WCNC Charlotte app. We're continuing to follow breaking news. If you're just joining us, this is a live look at the scene right now in Matthews as 3 different fire crews are on scene of a gas leak with an explosion. We are seeing flames at this time. This is at the intersection of Pleasant Plains Road and Morningwood Drive. Several homes have been evacuated in the area, but the good news is there's no reports of injuries at this time. We know paramedics are on scene, and people in this area are being told to not go near this area. Fire crews are Matthews Fire, Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Charlotte Fire Department, and Matthews Fire Department is taking lead right now. We know that there is a major gas leak. We also know that several homes are without power right now, assuming that power has been shut off. We do know that there are 49 homes without power. If you are taking a look at your screen, you can see that map right there, all of Morningwood Drive. Talking about these homes a little bit, we did see flames that Pierre is showing us. They were in the backyard. This is the backyard that I'm actually talking about as he just moved the camera there. You can still see smoke in that backyard, not seeing those massive flames that we did see earlier. And we did speak with a few neighbors who said that those flames were at the tree line 30 feet up. So massive flames in the area, but crews are still working to get a hold of this fire. We first got the call around 12:30 this afternoon is when we started hearing things pop off. And I just want to actually mention this before I continue, is that I can see some flames right in the left-hand corner. If you take a look at the left of your screen, seeing some flames pop up over there. But they've been fighting this fire for over an hour now, as 3 different crews are on scene. We also know Matthews police are on scene as well, as you're asked to avoid the area. Someone who knows a lot more about this area is our James Brierton, because he does live in Matthews, so he's very familiar with this area. He's been talking to us kind of about the general sense of the area, how close these homes are, how there was construction in the area. So James, I'm going to bring you on and kind of talk about that neighborhood a little bit more.
Yeah, so this is a residential neighborhood, again, in the greater Charlotte suburbs, and we're talking about single-family homes that are going to have at least some space in between them, yards, trees, and we've certainly seen trees in some of the shots that Pierre has been showing us. We're right here on the line between Mecklenburg County and Union County, so we're kind of on the border between a couple different townships. Matthews and Charlotte on the Mecklenburg side, Stallings and Wesley Chapel on the Union County side. We've been seeing in some of the pictures as well that they seem to be digging. There seems to be an excavator on scene. They're digging. I can only speculate that had to have something to do with the gas lines that we believe are fueling this fire, and crews are working on getting that under control. Megan, the other thought I had, and we've been talking about how this is a fire that was caused by a suspected gas leak, and that we've been using the word explosion. And that's the word that Matthews Fire used in their initial Facebook post as well, too. And that does make some sense to me, because I was in Ballantyne in 2019 when there was a home explosion caused by a gas leak. I was several blocks away, but I heard it and I felt it almost like you would suspect maybe like an earthquake would kind of feel like. You kind of just feel that sound reverberating. Now, that was a much bigger gas leak that leveled an entire home. That is not what we're seeing today. This seems to be a smaller, more contained gas leak that is causing flames to shoot up. But, as far as we can see, the rest of the neighborhood seems relatively untouched. But I still think residents in that area, if they couldn't see the fire or the source of that fire, if they were calling from a couple blocks away, I'm sure it sounded like an explosion, because it probably was that gas escaping out that pressurized pipe that it comes on down. So that descriptor and that word makes a lot of sense.
Y'all mentioned the digging. And if you see, Pierre's carrying his camera right now, so that's why he's like kind of on its side. Yeah. It's a very heavy camera. You see all those like dirt piles, like clearly with shovels and everything. Like there's clearly active digging.
Yeah, there is active digging. We've seen that excavator on scene, and it does kind of speak back to the big picture, which is that, I drive this area probably a couple times a week, not daily, but a couple times a week. And I have frequently seen crews in the area doing work as they've been doing some infrastructure development around the area. Now, what's interesting also is I think Pierre has just crossed over from Mecklenburg into Union County.
Yep, right.
Or there's abouts. And I think he might be getting a little bit of a closer vantage point. I think he's walking closer to the scene.
I saw us take the camera off the tripod, put it on his back. He's lugging a lot of equipment, so that's why it's kind of moving and looking like this. But he's trying to get a better shot for us.
Right.
But in the meantime, here's a picture from Matthews. This is Matthews' fire earlier. This is one of the first photos we got into our newsroom.
And we were just pointing out too earlier how close those flames were to those mailboxes. So assuming that homes are pretty close by. I do want to show, if we can go back to Pierre's shot. I know you guys said this is kind of annoying if it's on the side for you, but this is breaking news. This is what happens. I just wanted to point out how many fire trucks are just lined up along this street. Pierre trying to get as close as he can while still trying to be safe. You can see he's still keeping the camera on for us, and looks like he's at a bush right now. But he is still keeping the camera on for us. Autumn Bracey, our reporter, is also heading on down to that scene as well to try to get some more interviews for us. Pierre was able to speak with two neighbors, definitely describing the scene for us, saying that those flames were very large, hitting the top of the tree line, 30 feet tall, saying that, it was kind of a scary situation at first, but they also said that they feel comfortable because of the fire crews and the response and how calm they are. So that is also very nice. Like I said, 3 separate crews responding to this. Matthews Fire Department, we have Wesley Chapel, and we have Charlotte. Matthews is taking the lead on this. James is kind of describing how they all get on one frequency for radio, so they know what's going on and can communicate, which is always good news there. So we are definitely continuing to watch this, as this is a major breaking news story with several homes, really being affected because of this gas leak. Gas leaks can be very, very scary at this time, especially with the drought conditions, I should say. It's been very, very dry out there. Warning of, not to go too far with flames, outdoor flames. Obviously, we're not in a burn ban anymore, but you still need a permit to be able to do this. James,
these are some of the best pictures we've gotten from Pierre. He is now standing on the front lawn of the Leaf Springs School at Matthews, which is at the corner of Pleasant Plains Road, and allows him to look straight down Morningwood Drive.
Yes.
So now we can see, again, there's one of those dirt piles that we know they were working on, but that fire is still being fueled by natural gas.
Wow.
And you can see the excavator here in the foreground as they're working, I presume, to get down to that gas line to turn it off.
Right.
But we do have a ladder truck off to the right, and they're using that, I presume, to spray water. I don't know how you extinguish a gas line fire, but I imagine what you're trying to do is at least contain it to that one spot and not to the bush that's right next to it.
And you can see those fire crews are around it right there. This fire pretty hot, I'm assuming.
like you said before, this has to be boiling where they're at.
Again, I can only draw back on my experience going to a science lab in the Carolinas here, IBHS, where they set a home on fire and we're doing a wildfire experiment. And that got so much hotter than I anticipated getting, and we were kept back at a perimeter, and we all had to back up further. And you can kind of see there are people standing near this, and that probably gives us a rough idea of where the most comfortable place to stand is and no further.
And also, too, I want to point out that this fire is just it just keeps flaming, it just keeps going and going and going. And you can definitely tell that's because of gas. And I do want to point out, too, that the flames are hitting not the top of the trees, but pretty much almost to the top of the trees.
Very dry trees.
We're
in a drought still.
And I just also too want to again point out the amount of response that is here. You can see all of those fire crews working. Like James was saying, we have that ladder truck spraying water right now, and we do continue to see the digging work right now to stop that gas. So there are a lot of elements to this breaking news scene right now as fire crews do work to put this out. Once again, people are being asked to avoid this area as crews work to get these flames out. Definitely close to a lot of different homes. We can see that water and how powerful it is as they are doing, trying to get it out as quickly as they can. So lots of water being used. We do have some restrictions going on as well, but this is the water that needs to be used right now, and because it is so dry out there and that fire is just continuing.